Gone for the non-Barham engines coffee this morning, mate.
Well, you've got
to mix it up of a Friday.
Exactly, yeah.
But at least I didn't have a bloody baguette.
No.
Like you.
Well. Fancied it.
Never mind. It's Friday, isn't it, mate? And sometimes we have it on a Thursday because it's Friday Eve.
Yeah. And so on and so forth.
So on and so forth. Right, moving on, mate. This is the Cosworth for Scott. So as you can see, you have given it a lovely paint job.
Yeah, give it a little lick of black.
Yeah, you've dummy built it, so we've kept the crank in and torqued it up.
Yeah.
We've got decent running clearance on that, on the con rods as well. And it turns very, very nice,
Does
mate.
turn nicely, which as
that.
it should.
Look at that, absolutely blooming lovely. So we've got long studs, oil jets in the bottom, or the machining for the long studs, face the block. Next step was to machine the piston crowns to suit. So this one is the one that had the wire rings in. And to be honest, it was very poorly machined for the wire rings, so it's not like we could use those again. So what we've opted for, mate, is to face the block and face those wire rings out, which takes just over £0.5 mil.
Okay.
Okay, so the next step was this block's obviously had a face in the past as well, because when you've done your dummy build and measured the piston protrusion, obviously these are nice acrylite pistons, which the customer requested we bought. So when we did the piston, check the piston protrusion, we worked out it's 28 thou to come off the top to get our correct protrusion.
Protruded just under 40 thou.
Yeah.
Or a mil.
That's it.
And we aim for 12, don't we?
That's 12, it, we do, mate.
12 thou of protrusion. So.
Yeah, it's just slightly less than it would have probably originally.
And that's exactly why we do the dummy build, isn't it? So we can find that out, check the running clearances.
Exactly, mate. So, yes, so there's a fair bit of work in sort of doing the pistons.
Yeah.
So the first step is to obviously take our 28 thou off the outside here to get the protrusion, and then we've had to take some out of the bowl to get the compression back to what it was.
Yeah.
And then the next step, mate, obviously what that does by facing that amount off the face there is bring these valve cutouts in, because they're on an angle, it brings them inwards. So I've had to set them up onto the milling machine and redo the pockets, so take them out.
You wanted to go a little bit deeper anyway, didn't you?
Yeah, I always go, to be honest with you, on these sort of pistons, they're always borderline anyway, so they do them, I like to take them out a little bit bigger, so I use a bigger cutter, take them out so you've got plenty of sort of clearance on the edge of the valve head, and we also go deeper, don't we? So we go about 5 mil deep. So we've done that. Next step, mate, because we've got oil jets in it now, which run very close to the base of the block.
Yeah.
What you've done is do a dummy build, put the piston at bottom dead centre.
Yeah, so right down the bottom of the bore.
Yeah, and you've measured the protrusion of the piston out the base of the block.
Yeah, so
and what we need to do is put a little notch in there for the oil jet to sort of sit over so it doesn't foul on the base of the piston and break the jet off.
Yeah.
So you've measured it at 5.5 mil. So I've gone 6 mil deep on this.
Perfect.
And what I've done, mate, is obviously just calculated exactly where it needs to go. And then we need to deburr that, but that looks quite nice now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And what I've done, I've got one more to do. And I've done a little Heath Robinson setup, mate. Actually, it's not that Heath Robinson, it's fairly pro. And what I've done is utilised the jig for doing the valve pockets.
Right.
And put it at a near vertical position. And the reason I haven't done a vertical position as such and just put it back a little bit is to get clearance on this, because when we bring it back, that is almost fouling on here. It doesn't really matter if it's, where are we, sort of like that. We're still going to get the notch in there, mate.
Yeah.
So what I do is, first of all, figure out where I've got to put it. There. Then we use this pin, which I've made. Obviously, you've seen me set this up for the to do the pockets before, anyway.
So that pin allows you to bolt it.
It does indeed.
Clamp it.
Clamp it to this face. Obviously, when I do the pockets, the piston will be the other way round. So what I do is just put these nuts on,
I'll just grab a light a minute, mate.
You're going to go and grab a light, mate? Is that better?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Lots better. Are you blind?
I am blind, yes.
Blinded?
Can't see bugger all. Can't see you, anyway. And then what I've done, mate, is I've obviously, the first piston I've done, I've sort of got it, calculated it and got it in the right position.
Yeah.
And then what I've done is just set my vernier. I know this is a bit crude, but it's good enough. Set my vernier from there to the piston, and that is whereabouts it goes.
So you use that to measure.
It just saves clocking the piston every time you change it, mate. And that's what we tend to do. If we've got numerous amounts of the same thing to do, you do the first one and get as many calculations and sort of set it so you don't have to, basically you just change over the job.
Yeah.
And it's job done. So what we do now, fire up the machine. And then, and this is already set over there. You can see the dial gauge, and we just feed it in until we get to 6 mil. That is in metric. And just go in. Till we get to 6, mate. There we go.
Very smart.
Back it off. And that's done.
Lovely.
Nice little job, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that, I think, apart from the next job, which is just refacing the exhaust manifold from, that is Scott's job all done. So lots of little fiddly bits to do on this job, although we're not building it. You know, it's just got to get everything right, so when the customer assembles the engine, they haven't got to do any check-in. It's just literally...
But this is part of the sort of difficulty and specialty in the Cosworths, isn't it?
Well, this is the trouble. It's just little things. So, for instance, this here, you can see this is an original piston, and you can see that it's got a cutout there for an oil jet, which is more than likely for the later Escort, the small turbo Escort Cosworths, which had the jets in the block. But it's a different jet, so they do sit a bit higher.
Right.
So if you put that piston in with those oil jets, it's going to foul.
It
literally just touches. So any sort of rock on that piston, you're going to find it breaks them off. You drop oil pressure, and hey presto, you've wrecked an engine. So it's just little things like that. You can see the difference in the depths there.
Yep.
And
that's sort of an extra safety depth, really.
It doesn't really need to be that depth, but
no. But it means that you know you're not going to have an issue with it touching.
This is it, mate. That's that done. Obviously, we've got to just check the weight of those. If we need balancing, we'll have to do that. But they should be pretty close. And while I was set up there, mate, it was a little bit like when I did the long stud job.
Yeah.
While the machine was set up, I did my block, the one that we're going to build, the Cosworth.
Yep.
It took a little bit of extra time, but while it was set up, like I say. So while we've got this jig set up,
might do your ones as well then.
Well, I thought we would at least check them.
Yeah.
But they're a different type, aren't they? So we've got a long rod setup, short piston. So the pin height is different. The pin is more towards the crown. You can see there where that cutout is, as opposed to a sort of an original look. You can see how much different it is.
Yeah.
So that is how much longer the rod is.
Oh, right.
So what that means is, when it's at TDC, it sticks up further. But when it's at bottom dead centre, the piston is further up the bore. Yeah. So we did a dummy build, and this skirt is below the base of the block.
So the highest point of that skirt is still below the... Yeah, so you're fine, basically.
Exactly, yeah.
And
although
also
it's a different...
the skirt's different. It's shorter anyway.
It's a different design anyway. You've got a less of a... See, that's all the way round. So in theory, that would be your cutout.
Yeah.
But this is way below. So we've checked that, mate. At least I haven't got to do that, because it would just save setting that jig up again. I'll crack on now. I'll take that jig apart. I'll get the setup for the manifold, the exhaust manifold.
Yep.
And because I'm using a four-wheel drive manifold as well, I shall probably face that one afterwards while it's all set up, and just get mine done at the same time, innit, mate? Not that I'm excited. Not that I'm excited. Had a little delivery today from Westwood Liners. That's the ductile iron liners for my block.
Well,
we are ductile iron liner it. It's all belt and braces, it's all done. And if we ever sold the engine, it's properly done, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, and going back to standard with the liners also means you've got like 2 oversizers again if anything did go wrong.
Exactly.
You've got 2 more rebores in it.
Yeah.
So
and it just means there's a lot more meat in the bores.
Yeah.
An extra sort of 2 mil of meat, really.
Yeah.
A mil aside. Finally gathering everything. And Steve's going to be over next week to bring us another bunch of bits. Most of the stuff that we need.
And collect that one as well, I think.
And to come to collect that, mate, yeah. So I've just got to do a couple of little bits on that this afternoon.
Yep.
And then he's probably going to hopefully come and pick that up Monday.
Should we show him our new installation in the office?
Why not, mate?
I think so.
This would be the dearest ornament I think we're ever likely to get our hands on.
Yeah.
So what we've done, we've had a little sort out here. So that is the engine that's going to Spain. Customers paid for that. So I've just got to find out where it's going. Obviously, we bought that one out. Just having a little sort out and a clean up. We thought, seeing as he hasn't picked it up, mate, until he does, if he ever does, or until we get a court order to say that we can actually flog it, we had a little sort out of the office, mate. And we have a nice Rover K-Series race engine sitting in the corner, which I think, is, rather than it sit on a stand, you've taped up all the holes and what have you, so nothing crap can get in.
Sellotaped over the ports just so it doesn't look like it's covered, but it is covered.
But it just looks nice if people come in, see an engine sitting there, mate. Looks lovely, doesn't it?
I think it's nice.
Yeah, nice little touch.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with the office. This wall's got to be painted again. The office is looking pretty good, but when you come through the office now and see this still looks terrible. Until we can get the office done upstairs, which is probably going to be another 3 months now because my mate started another job, which is not a problem. What we're going to do is we're going to board this and whiteboard this area in here. So at least when you walk into the office, all this is whiteboarded and it all looks a bit more pro, doesn't it?
All look tidy.
Yeah.
All look, yeah.
So we're going to get that done in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Wiring and stuff.
Exactly. But what we are going to put, the plan is, when it's all whiteboarded and nice and clean, there'll be nothing on these walls. But we have had another little sponsor sending us a gift, which is on the way from America, I do believe. And that is from a neon light company.
Cool.
Who has done, I sent them the diagram to our sign with the letter in, and they've done it in neon, mate, with the orange circle and the white sort of neon. Cool. Yeah, and we've got that in 2 foot wide, so that is going to go nicely here. Nice. And we'll get it all wired in properly before we board it. Look trick as hell, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And if it does look cool, we should get another one made to put in the office up there.
Well, I think the office, when we do that, it's going to be ample opportunity for lots of decorative sort of cool stuff, pictures and signs and sort of memorabilia and all that.
Exactly, mate. So yeah, it's all happening very slow progress.
Yeah.
But it's progress nonetheless, isn't it?
What's going on with your BMW? Because I've noticed a few comments recently asking what's going on, have you lost interest?
Well, interest is one thing we haven't lost on it.
No.
But unfortunately, it's at the body shop. And the trouble is, in fairness, it has become a much bigger project than we first intended or first thought.
Yeah.
Not only that, but the plans have changed with the car. So obviously, when it first went to Mikey, it was going to be an out-and-out track car, and then we decided to put an M3, because initially we didn't decide to put an M3 kit on.
No.
So we've sort of done it all as we thought. Mikey's done his best, but it turns out that it wasn't going to work, so we've had to change panels for carbon fibre, steel.
Yeah.
Then when it's gone to Ryan being as anal as he is, which is a good thing, he's decided that it's going to be not just a track car, but a show car.
He sort of decided that, really, didn't he? He's decided
that, which has pleased me.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we have got sort of enough track cars.
This is the thing. When it was with Mikey, it was going to be a track car, then it was going to be the M3 body kit on a track car. And then it sort of, since then, has evolved to this, like, near-perfect work of art. But
that is pretty much what it's going to end up like,
so
mate.
it's sort of
we've got some
had to be redone in places and things got to be, you know.
Yeah, it just gone over it and made sure everything that's a bit suspect has been made to look lovely. And obviously when it's in paint, it's going to be something else, isn't it?
Yeah.
But no, we certainly have not. Interest is rising. The more progress we make on it, But if we haven't got it here, there's not a lot else we can do, mate. I'm a
Yeah.
bit stuck. We've got everything, obviously, on the shelves ready to go, all the stuff for underneath the car. The only thing we've got to do is when we get the car back, we've got to measure up, order the rear wheels.
Yeah.
I've got to get another seat for the front, which are quite hard to get hold of from Recaro, the XLs.
Oh yeah, those Recaros, yeah.
A few other bits. Obviously, the wiring's got to be done
Yeah.
at Level Motorsport. Matt there is going to be doing the wiring.
So it's pretty much once Ryan gets round to getting it finished,
Yeah.
which there is a lot of work still, I suppose.
There
But
is, yeah.
then it's back here.
As soon as it's back here, mate, we're going to be on it.
Yeah,
let's
we
be
are.
honest.
But it'll be measure up for the rear wheels, and then pretty much get everything bolted together,
Yeah,
and then it will go for wiring.
that's it.
Get
The
wired
first thing
up.
we'll do is measure up for the rear wheels.
Yeah.
Get them ordered because they take a month.
Yeah.
But there's
so by
no
the time
reason.
that's all done.
Yeah.
it
So
should be
apart
ready.
from the wiring, really, we can get the thing built. We've got everything lying about.
We literally do. Well, it's like you showed before. You got a box up there with all brand new, every single bolt for the underside.
Exactly.
All labelled up in packaging, and
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, that's a little godsend. And behind the scenes, mate, I've been ordering and getting stuff made. You know, like header tanks, stuff like that takes quite a lot of organising. And,
Yeah, it is a lot of
and it's all
organising.
bespoke.
And not too long ago, we got all the control arms, all the bushes done on them, and sorted out and everything.
The only thing I have got to order, which I shall do next week, is the pedal box. We've decided to go for a pedal box from
Yeah.
Comp Brake, where we got the brakes from. But that will just make it, you know, the proper race car, won't it? And it will do away with, it'll make us a lot more room under the bonnet, and it will do
will.
away with a lot of the ugly holes in the bulkhead.
Yes.
So it's little things like that we, before it goes to paint, we need to get sorted.
It's just a, it's a better solution to the
Yeah.
pedal situation, really, isn't it?
But that's it, guys. We certainly haven't lost interest, and as soon as that Shelley's back here in bright orange, you're going to be seeing a lot more of
All
it.
go.
And I am excited about that car more than anything,
Yeah,
because that is going to be some bit of kit, isn't it?
it is. It's going to be nuts.
So look out. So, mate, Friday afternoon, and we're off home very slightly earlier than normal, because it's about 29 degrees,
And we're hot.
and we're hot.
very
I want
hot.
to go home and flop in the old hot tub.
Sounds nice, mate.
So until a video of next week, guys, have a great weekend, and we will see you then. Cheers. Bye.